வணக்கம் சத்குரு. நீங்க வாக்கு சுத்தி என்ற தன்மையானது வெறும் உண்மை மட்டும் பேசுறதல்ல, ஒரு ரம்யமான அற்புதமான சத்தத்தை உச்சரிப்பது, நமக்கு நன்மை கொடுக்கக்கூடியது என்று சொல்லியிருக்கின்றீர்கள். வாக்கு சுத்தியா இருந்தா எப்பவுமே நம்ம சாண்டிங் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணுமா? விளக்கமா சொல்லுங்க.
So speech is a special gift to a human being. In terms of the complexity of what a human being can utter, no other creature can do this. Well, an elephant can trumpet louder than us. It can have you paralyzed. If it comes and trumpets anywhere near you, it'll have you paralyzed just with sheer sound. A lion can roar. Birds can do so many things. But no creature is capable of coming out with the complexity with which we can utter. The languages were consciously created so that simple utterance of the language will purify the system. Sanskrit language was created like this, so most of us probably are speaking in English language most of the time. Of all the… not necessarily of all the languages, compared to the Indian languages, the vernacular languages, or compared to Spanish or Latin or even Chinese or whatever, English language has the minimum range of sounds, very minimum. This is why, right from your birth, if you're speaking only English language, you find it so difficult to utter some other mantra or some other language, because you're using a very minimum range of expression. So the more minimalistic the range of sounds that you utter happen, the less vak shuddhi you have. So now you have to fix it by a certain active awareness and volition. One is the sound, another is the intention of the sound. You can say "hey" out of great love, or you can say "hey" out of something else. Now, both of them will not produce the same impact on the system, because the volition of the action is the important or the major part of the karmic process is in the volition, not in the action. Similarly, major part of the karma is in the volition, not in the sound. But if the sounds were scientifically structured, as in the mantras and in Sanskrit language, then even without much awareness, if you utter, still you would benefit, simply because of the nature of the arrangement of sound. But now we are speaking languages which are no more made like that. So it is best to handle it with intention. I think many times I have told you about this lady who came out of a concentration camp during the World War II, and she took a vow, you know. So just took a vow, if I speak to somebody now, if this happens to be my life, it could be. If this happens to be my last words to this person, how I would utter this? Like that I will utter to whoever I speak. It's a fantastic way of fixing your vak shuddhi. Vak shuddhi means cleansing the sounds that you utter. To become conscious of the sounds, the science of sounds and the impact that this has on us and how to come to this, it is a phenomenal thing, it's not going to happen in a lifetime. to understand. This is Nada Yoga. It takes a whole lot of things. So for that, to do Nada Yoga, you have a chant. If you keep it going whenever, I never consciously think about this, but if I sit, stand, Shambho Shiva simply happens to me, not because I intend to utter it. My breath just takes that form. It is not happening just because I sit in a program or I am doing something important or not important. You can just bring it into your life like that. A lot of people have decided to use filthy words in their conversations, or these days particularly I'm seeing the youth in United States trying to form a whole sentence with just one word. I see a whole lot of people in India also have picked these things up, and when they utter these words, people keep on saying, shit, shit. I keep reminding them, please don't do it here, please don't do it here. So, this is one way of bringing the right kind of reverberation in the system. Why this is important is, if you simply become silent within yourself, there is no better way, it is the ultimate way. If you can just simply become still within yourself, that is the best way. If that's not happening, the next best and the next best is like this. You can say Shiva, it is the closest things to stillness. Otherwise, just one word doesn't do for you. You can have a little more elaborate, you need a sing-song, you can do Brahmananda Swarupa, something, or whatever mantra you picked among those 5, 6 that are there. Whatever you resonate with, you just do that. Above all, to bring the right intention into every sound that you utter. If you bring the right intention into every single sound that you utter, these sounds will reverberate in a certain way within you. This foundation of the right kind of reverberation is necessary if you want to use this human system as a higher possibility. Otherwise, it will only drag behind you all the time. If you want this to be a bigger possibility, this must have a foundation of the right kind of reverberation, and Vak Shuddhi, or cleansing the sounds that you utter, is an important part of that. But if you can become utterly still, nothing like.
Sadhguru, nowadays we see a lot of young people are in relationships. So, a public display of affection, PDA, is quite common and popular among the young generation. And it's very normal for all of us to, hug our friends or kiss our partners openly in front of others. But if we say our previous generation, they consider PDA as something vulgar. So it's very strange that how love offends someone. So my question is that whose outlook do you support? Is it the young generation or your own generation?
What makes you think you're younger than me, huh? No, I don't agree that you're younger than me. So, there are many aspects to this question. You said today young people have relationships. Unfortunately, you have come to a place where you think that a relationship means it must be body-based, there must be something biological involved. Biology is a part of our life, but the significance of becoming human compared to other creatures is, they are complete biology, we are only part biology. We have other dimensions to us. We have an intelligence, we have an emotion, we have a consciousness which is of another dimension. Biology is only one part of us. If an earthworm says, I have a relationship and both of them tangle each other, I understand. If when a human being says, I have a relationship, it could be a friend, it could be a brother, it could be a sister, it could be a variety of relationships and also body-based relationships. So this thing about using the word relationship only with biological stuff is essentially because somewhere unknowingly, maybe because of internet, you gotten enslaved to America. It all started in United States. Relationship means it has to be opposite sex or something sexual. Why can't you hold relationships of other kind? Hello? Are we not capable, I'm asking? Can't we have very intimate, profound relationships with people without fondling their bodies, I'm asking? Possible or no? Biology is not the most prominent aspect of being human. It is there. It's not something that you can, put it under the carpet. It is very much there, but it is not the dominant aspect of being human. With other creatures it is so, with a human being, the most significant aspect of who we are is our intelligence, our emotion, our consciousness. These are big things. Body is just one part of it. I am not saying you must ignore the body is there. Now when you say young people, you're talking about those people whose intelligence has been hijacked by hormones. When you were 10 years of age, you looked at people, everybody was fine, they were quite okay. You became 14, 15, you looked at them, every little bump on their body suddenly became a world by itself. Yes or no? You have to wait for some more time. When the hormonal thing goes down, then you look at people, again they're all looking normal. So, it's not a question of right and wrong, it's not a question of morality, it is just a question of priority. What kind of priority do you want to give to your own bodily compulsions? Delhi, just now when I was coming to your college, somebody in a main street was standing there and urinating. When he feels like it, he does it. What's the problem? Hello? Any problem? No problem, because when you feel like it, you do whatever you want and you think it's your right. He also thinks it's his right. When he feels like it, he urinates on the street. What's wrong? Dogs are doing it, donkeys are doing it, cattle are doing it, everybody's doing it. Be natural. This is the philosophy you're talking about. I'm saying there is a certain sanctity to relationships, especially body-based relationships. If you don't maintain that sanctity, it'll become, after some time, vulgarity, definitely. So somebody is seeing it before you, that if you go like this tomorrow, it'll lead to something else. This does not mean being a moral prude, no. But if you don't maintain that sanctity, you will regret that how relationships will become, how much pain they can bring in your life later on, you will see. So you're talking about previous generation, I don't belong to that, nor do I belong to your generation, I belong to the future generations, that's why I'm like this. The previous generation that you're talking about was a generation which came just post-independence. You must understand their reality. They lived as an occupied nation for a period of time. Some of them fought, others slinked around. Whichever way, their ideas of morality essentially was of their master. It is British prudery that they carried within themselves. Their idea of being right is that they must be in a straitjacket all the time. You don't have to go by that, nor do you have to do something stupid in reaction to that. You must conduct your life sensibly. You must conduct your life in such a way that this will work for you for your entire life in some sense. You do something wacky today and there may be a payment tomorrow. So, why don't you think it through? What is the best thing to do? How much of what to do? Isn't it? How much of what should I do? How much of body? How much of intelligence? How much of emotion? How much of consciousness? In your life you must decide which should dominate your life. Accordingly you conduct it, it's fine. Somebody doesn't like it, they need not see it.
If you stayed until now, if you paused your day to listen, that already sets you apart from most. Like the video, comment where you're watching from, and check the links in the description. You'll definitely find more content that continues this conversation with you. Thanks, big hug, and see you in the next video.